We got back to the rental company after being in Independence, Kansas, and we were scheduled to drop off the rental car. And I really wanted to take that car to the Grand Canyon. I had asked God, Lord, I would love a car this nice, or maybe even this car itself, to go to the Grand Canyon in.
I think that was one of the best cars you said you had
It was
driven.
by far the most pleasant car to drive. Between the Toyotas and Chevys and Nissans and BMWs and Hyundais, the Hyundai Santa Fe was by far the most pleasant to drive. So, we got to the rental counter at the airport.
Before we got to the rental counter, we got to
The drop-off line.
The drop-off line. And when we were in the drop-off line...
She knew, don't drop it off unless we're dropping it off.
I felt like this was not where we were supposed to be, especially given that God had said to us, we're leaving with a car, right? So we spoke to the person at the drop-off point. He was like, oh yeah, go park over there. Don't take out your stuff. Just go to the counter and talk to them.
Yeah. Dream work.
Teamwork. Yay! Okay. But at this point, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I didn't know exactly what to be scared about, but I know I was anxious.
We knew exactly what to be scared about. We didn't have enough money to do big things on the credit card. God had told us in a previous video, we talked about how he said he's going to run us out of money. Some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, you trust in Capital One. I'm going to make you entirely dependent on me. And so we knew that this was part of his plan to do so.
But the reason why I wasn't anxious at that point is because we had the other credit card.
Yeah.
And so, I was just like, all right, I hope things go well. Hopefully. But then...
So it was just the general anxiety from the last 2 weeks that you're feeling then? Yeah. So we were back from Independence, Kansas. This comes after our videos about going to Transformation Church, our first time in Tulsa, and then going to Independence, and now we're back for one day. So we get to the counter, and she says...
Who's she?
Yvonne.
Uh-huh.
Yvonne is very high C on the disc, if you are familiar with that. And I was hoping for someone jovial and jolly and rules bendy, like the first two guys that we got at this rental counter a couple days ago. And instead we got Miss Rules, who was kind, but still rules. Yeah. So we got there and she said, well, we don't have any inventory. So we can't fill a new reservation. You'll have to extend this one if you want to do that. And at this point, I'm thinking, I know we're headed to the Grand Canyon next. God has already told us that, and that's Shanielle's birthday present, is going to the Grand Canyon. So I've already looked at online, what does it cost to do a drop-off at the Grand Canyon. And it's about $900 most of the time. And God told us just go to the counter. Just go to the counter. Don't do it online. Go to the counter. I'd forgotten that part before. And so we got there and we were hoping for a lower price. There wasn't a lower price. That drop fee from Tulsa to Flagstaff, Arizona was like a $500 or $600 one-way drop fee. And so that was intimidating, to say the least. Plus, they didn't have any inventory. So plus, we didn't have any more room on that credit card.
And she said that it had to be on that credit card, the credit card that we'd open the reservation with.
Yeah, we can't do an extension on a different card. We'd have to start over if we did a different card, and starting over was out of the...
And if we started over, they didn't have any inventory for us.
So, we... asked her what the options were and walked away and prayed and called Capital One and prayed and talked to Alberto and prayed And then we found out we could not get a credit limit increase on that card. Certainly not a rapid decision. Any payments that we would make to that card wouldn't hit until the next day because it was already past the 2 p.m. cutoff or whatever it was. And we didn't have any money to make a big chunk payment with anyway.
That would have covered whatever the car.
Right. We couldn't make that sort of room available on the card.
And so at this point, I am internally drenched in cold sweat. My anxiety has gone
internal cold sweat.
Rapid, gone all the way up. I am trying hard not to shut down because I am like, God, you mean that we're gonna have to deal with the embarrassment of taking the stuff out of the car because we can't pay for it. Right? And we're gonna have to get an Uber and we don't know where we're gonna go and all that stuff. Like, my brain just went there and I'm in mental overdrive and trying not to shut down.
Gray behavior, in other words.
Gray flamingo behavior, in other words, and all the gray flamingo thoughts.
Great feelings, great thoughts, not gray behavior, I would say. I misspoke.
I was just there. I was trying so hard not to make what I was feeling and what I was thinking turn into how I was showing up.
Yeah. And you did well. You took every thought captive.
Yeah.
So
the Lord said,
I was thinking, well, maybe we fly from here to Flagstaff. Maybe I should check flights. Maybe it's cheaper. I started to... I got as far as saying, do you think maybe we're supposed to fly from here? And Shaniel said no. He said we're leaving with a car. She reminded me. So, again, dream work.
Yeah, it's powerful when you remember what God has told you. Even when whatever you're looking at don't look like. Remember the truth of what He told you.
So at this point, I'm starting to feel the thrill. Like there's desperation going on with this. If we're driving away in a car... not riding away in an Uber, but driving away in a car, He's going to do something. We have 0 options with Capital One. And I sat there and just in silence with the guy saying, what would you do? Just waiting for him to come up with something miraculous.
He's like, dude, I can't help you.
I got nothing for you. Yeah.
That's it.
So...
God told us to go back to the counter.
Yeah.
That was what He said. He's like, well, go back to the counter.
Did He?
I'm like, yeah,
I don't remember that. Okay. I know that was our only option left. We didn't have anything else. And I prayed before we got out of the car. I said, God, I am stumped. And I was getting really excited. Like, this is when God does the thing. Whatever God's going to do, this is it. It's happening now. I think I may have checked bank balances and stuff like that as well to see if we had something else that we could do. But no surprises were happening.
Hi. You want to come and say hi?
Studio sign.
Come on, say hi.
Yeah. This is our friend Jody.
Yes.
Our friend and definitely not mentor, Jody.
How you doing?
There's nobody there. We're recording a video, but you said you're now in our video.
Oh, this is your what God's doing video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. God's done a lot through Jody and Angela. God did popcorn. Wow. Thank you, Jody. So.
Okay. Todd's going to be in there working.
Cool. So we got to the. We got back to the rental counter, and we explained, we tried option 1, we tried option 2, we tried option 3 that Yvonne had graciously given us. And despite her rules following nature, she bent her mind to the task and worked those rules on our behalf. She turned out to be exactly the right person. And so after a minute she said, well, you can just keep the car, right?
I'm like, what?
I said, no, I did not know that. She said, yeah, you can just keep the car for another day and come back tomorrow and do everything then and do the money stuff then. I said, okay.
I'm realizing at this point it's a relief because even going back to her felt embarrassing. Like, oh, we're telling her.
And I wasn't embarrassed at this point.
For me, it was. That was a thought no there. And so it's kind of like, what? We can keep the car?
Yeah.
And in my head, when she said it, I'm like, God, but we're just putting off the problem for another day.
That was what happened with me as well. I was simultaneously relieved and disappointed. Like, we didn't go all the way down the roller coaster and get moving fast. We went down this little bitty dip at the top of the roller coaster after going up this whole ramp.
Yeah.
Now we've gone in this little dip.
And
it was very anticlimactic.
And I mean, we had talked about having the car, like being able to rent the car. I was thinking God was going to make a means for us to have the car for like an entire week, no problems. Like, okay, it's a slam bam done, thank you ma'am, sort of thing. Like, you don't have to think about this again for another week.
She means slam dunk.
Yeah, no, I meant slam bam, thank you ma'am, it's done, it's closed.
Ew.
And here he was being like, all right, first step is take back the car tomorrow.
So
we left,
and then we didn't know where to go because we didn't have a place to stay yet.
But after we left, the Lord said to me that we weren't supposed to go back to the airport tomorrow. It was kind of like, all right, call them and extend. I think you said that.
No, he said that the next morning.
Yeah.
He got me thinking, well, if I can extend it for one day, could I just keep extending it? I wonder. And then the next morning he said, yes, call them and extend. Okay. So we did.
So going back to that evening, we left with now the next problem on our list is
where do we stay tonight? I had hoped to leave Tulsa that night and get on the road for the Grand Canyon so we could not be rushing. And we weren't.
Mm-hmm.
But so we drove to downtown Tulsa and it was empty. And as we were driving into downtown Tulsa, God said, I'm taking you out to eat tonight.
And I melted down. Because I'm like, God, we have money stuff going on right now. We should be focused on needs. What in the world are you talking about going on? I know I had expressed a desire to him, like, God, it would be nice to go out somewhere nice and eat. But for
that was
me,
within the last week.
But it was like, it's a nice thing, but I'm like, we don't have the money for that right now. Like, we ain't going down that road of using money frivolously.
Yeah.
And so forth. And so when God said that, and then he confirmed it with me,
He said it to me, and I waited a moment to make absolute sure I was hearing correctly, and then I told Shanielle, because I did not feel like I was supposed to wait to tell her. But I knew what was going to happen.
And I'm like, oh my, no, we're not doing it. I don't care, God. Do you see that we have a small amount of resources we have to?
She was mad.
Yeah, I was mad. I was
not
mad.
Yelling, not sinful mad at me, just mad.
I was mad at God.
Yeah.
But eventually I came around and we're like, all right, cool. Not happily doing it, but all right, God, if you say.
So we got past the mad and into the fear. At that point, we parked and looked for where we're going, and God sent us to Longhorn, which is one of our favorites. It's not,
they have wonderful fries.
It's not $100 steaks; it's $25 steaks, but it's one of our favorites. We're simple people, and they have wonderful fries.
Yeah.
So.
We get to Longhorn. It's a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so in anxiety mode at this point that I can't even.
You can hardly eat.
I could hardly eat. My appetite went.
Yeah.
And I also cried at Longhorn. Like, just Because in that moment, the anxiety is now hitting me, and it was at that moment that the Lord brought up back something from me from my childhood. Like, oh God, you mean we don't know where we're going to stay tonight because God hasn't told us yet. Here is God telling us to spend irresponsibly.
That was a really interesting thing for us. If God says do it, can it be irresponsible?
So that's why I put irresponsibly in air quotes. And on top of that, it was bringing up so many things from me from my childhood about the fear of being homeless, although I was never homeless as a kid. But I mean, I was like, God, I've worked so hard and have done all the right things that I was supposed to do.
Except for marrying me.
It's not. It didn't even start with marrying you. I can't blame it on you because God started this process way before I married you.
Yep.
Right? And here I am about to hit my 33rd birthday, and everything looks upside down, even though I made all the right choices. And before I was making all the right choices and leaning on my own understanding and on my own strength and on what I thought to do to ensure that I never went back to the poverty that I grew up in. And you're telling me, Lord, that I am trusting in you. There was that angle. I'm trusting in you here, and you are screwing up real badly. So it was a lot of anger. It was a lot of fear. And
that was all from fear.
Yeah.
That anger was rooted in fear, of course. Anger is from the perception of injustice, or denied justice, if you want to call it that. But it's always because there's a fear that it can't be made right, or a fear that it won't be made right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that fear was God was doing a lot with there. You were doing good work.
Yeah. So we left Longhorn. Well, we told us where to go.
Yeah.
We're going to a motel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we left Longhorn, got to our motel. In the rain.
And tomorrow we'll tell you about the tornado.
Oh no, I don't think that's where we're stopping. I think we're stopping at
17 and a half minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll tell you in the next video about the tornado.
And the meltdown I had the next morning.
Oh, right. Yes.
So.
All right.